50 years later, now on Sunrise, remembering the events in Selma, Alabama. I'm Matt McCutcheon. How locals here are remembering that anniversary, both in Indianapolis and in Alabama, coming up live on Sunrise.
Also had identity theft at Ball State University, coming up how police first found out there was a problem.
And after yesterday's 2-degree low, temperatures are much better this morning, but we're going to see a nice warming trend in your forecast, and I'll have the details.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News Sunrise starts now.
And good morning. Welcome to Sunrise on this Saturday. I'm Jeremy Brilliant in for Naomi, along with Kelly Green, and we are talking about, I would say, a balmy warm-up.
Right.
I mean, it's 29 out there, but it's
fair.
Still, compared to yesterday, you're right. I mean,
Absolutely.
What a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, it was awful yesterday,
yes,
which is
it
so
was.
bitter cold. The good thing is that we had a lot of blue sky yesterday. Today, not quite as sunny, but it will be warmer. So, well, I'll take the warm weather with some clouds because it's not going to be nearly as bitter cold as it was yesterday. We have a clipper system. It is trying to bring a few light precipitation here across northern Indiana, really just falling apart. It's running into a lot of dry air, so this is called Virga, trying to pick up a little bit of freezing rain here, but all of that evaporating before it gets to the surface. A very dry air mass in place right now. The air temperature at 27 degrees in Muncie, 29 in Kokomo, 31 already in Lafayette, 31 in Seymour. Now, we do have a lot of clouds across the area. Here's a look from our Westfield cam from our Weather Bug Network. A lot of snow depth on the ground as well. We'll see a lot of that eroding over the next several days. Winds out of the southwest today will allow temperatures to climb into the upper 30s and low 40s. We'll still have wind chill values likely in the low 20s today. The clouds will clear out quite a bit later this afternoon as that clipper moves on out of here, but temperatures will climb to near 40 degrees in Indianapolis. Again, winds will be out of the southwest. We may see a gust or two around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Now, it'll be even warmer as we head into the middle of next week, and I'll have all those details coming up in your full forecast. Jeremy?
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. The town of Selma, Alabama is quiet this morning, but in just a few hours, there will be thousands of people there as people from across the country converge to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights March. People in Indiana are making the anniversary with marking the anniversary rather with a special march through downtown today. And Sunrise reporter Matt McCutcheon is live from outside the State House where the march today will end. Matt?
Good morning. Hundreds of events are scheduled all across the country today to remember this somber anniversary of what happened 50 years ago. And that includes right here in Indianapolis. While a handful of Hoosiers will be making the trek down to Alabama, here at home in Indiana, a special event will take place here at noon today. Of course, everyone hoping it'll be a little warmer come noonday when there is a walk about 5 miles long that will start at the Light of the World Christian Church at 4646 Michigan Road. This, of course, remembers everything that happened 50 years ago in Alabama, that Bloody Sunday, as it's often referred to, that long walk across the Pettus Bridge to ensure things like voter registration, voter acts, laws, and things like that. And really today, this event starts at noon and walks 5 miles here in Indianapolis to the State House to again peacefully remember what happened 50 years ago.
We will disperse from here and we'll walk all the way down a straight shot to the State House, about 5 miles. So put on some comfortable shoes. But remember, we're walking 5 miles and they walked 51 miles in 1965.
There will be a bus to take people who are walking here from Indianapolis from the State House back to the church, where there will also be things like voter registrations to get everyone signed up for the elections, which is really what this was about in many ways 50 years ago. Now, as far as Hoosiers down in Selma, that also includes Representative Andre Carson, and of course we'll have more from Selma coming up throughout the day here on air and online. Reporting live, Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks so much, Matt. And today, President Barack Obama and about 100 members of Congress are converging on Selma for the 50th anniversary. The nation's first black president will deliver a speech commemorating Bloody Sunday. It was the flashpoint that led to the passage of the Voting Rights Act, a bill that gave African Americans the right to vote. And if you would like to voice, or would you like a voice in this year's primary election, the deadline to register is now less than a month away. Voter registration will remain open until April 6th. If you've moved, gotten married, had to change your name, you need to update your registration. Voters can register for the first time or update their current registrations online. We have a link at our website at WTHR.com. Just click on the Hot Topics tab. Identity thieves have struck at Ball State University, stealing dozens of employees' tax refunds. University and other state workers are particularly vulnerable to these types of attacks because their names, titles, and salaries are and public records. They're easily found on the internet. A Ball State website offering help and information prompted calls from 200 employees. Dave Matthews was one of the people impacted.
You don't think it's going to happen to you, and then lo and behold, bingo, it does. It's cumbersome, it's tiresome.
Is it scary?
It is scary because you just don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Matthews has frozen his credit, notified his bank, the IRS, the FTC, local police, and Indiana's Attorney General. And across the state at Purdue University, dozens of students say they're the victims of credit card fraud. The problem began several months ago. At least 30 people, all international students from China, are affected. They say the stolen money exceeds $100,000. Well, it is 9:06 and in the 20s now, but going to be warming up nicely today and going to be getting better throughout the next few days.
Right. Actually, it's going to feel more spring-like finally. We're talking about temperatures climbing back into the 50s, and it is dry right now across Live Doppler 13 radar. I'll let you know when we have our next chance of precipitation coming up on sunrise.
And a first-of-its-kind effort to protect students while one school is starting to add seat belts to its buses. Also, are you ready to paint the town red? How you can support and sample from dozens of local businesses at Yelp's next big party. And taking a live look at downtown Indianapolis, snow on the ground, but it is going to be getting much better out there in the 40s today and progressively warmer throughout the week, so something good to look forward to. And later this month, Yelp plans to paint the town red, where some of the most popular local businesses in Indy let you sample their goods. Here's Yelp's Brittany Smith with more on that event.
This week we're at Union Station, located inside the Crown Plaza in downtown Indy. We're here in celebration of Yelp Paints the Town Red. This party is happening March 19th with over 1,000 attendees and 50 local businesses. It's completely free for attendees with free food and drink as well as entertainment when you get inside. All you have to do is RSVP on Yelp.com and click on the Events tab. One of the many interactive elements to the party is that attendees will be able to tour the beautiful train cars that are located inside the Crown Plaza. I'm joined by JJ DeBras, the sales and marketing manager of Crown Plaza. He's going to explain to us what makes this hotel so unique from a national standpoint.
Well, we're very blessed, Brittany, in that we have 13 train cars inside the hotel. Now, we're the only hotel in the world that we're aware of that has the train cars inside the hotel. So each train car has 2 rooms, so we have 26 total rooms, 13 doubles, 13 kings, and it's absolutely just fascinating to get to stay in one of these cars and kind of relive the history, if you will, a little bit. So a lot of fun. I can't tell you how many times I've seen kids and adults hanging off the cars, yelling out all aboard. So definitely very blessed to be able to have this to share with the community.
How long have these, what's the history of this building that you're actually staying in?
So the train shed actually was built, it started built in 1915 and actually didn't get finished in 1922. There was a shortage of iron during World War I. So the train shed actually is where they would have worked on the trains, they would have unloaded freight, and then when the renovations happened in 1985-86, which actually were in line with the Festival Marketplace, which is where Union Station is, and so we came online at that time.
Oh, I love it. And one of the convenient things about this location, obviously, is that it's walkable to so many great restaurants downtown. If you have an event at Union Station, you can stay the night, make a night of it right here.
Absolutely. Again, very lucky with the convention center being where it is now. We're actually attached to the convention center, which actually then station also connects us to Lucas Oil Stadium. You obviously have Union Station right next door to us as well. And from what I've been told, I think we're within walking distance of over 200 downtown restaurants. So,
I like that. That's a good fun fact. That's definitely a winning piece right there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, JJ.
Oh, thank you guys.
We're now standing in the Iron Horse Bar, which is located in the basement of Union Station. The neat thing about this space is that in a few weeks, it's going to be transformed into the Bloomington Bar, meaning that we're going to have 10 different local businesses in this space showcasing what they do from Bloomington, Indiana. We have great businesses like Bloomington Brewery, which so many Yelpers know and love, Mallow Run Winery, sharing some of their great wines, Hopscotch Coffee, so maybe if you're not looking for alcohol, we have some other options on board. Oliver Winery, a new distillery located in Bloomington known as Cardinal Spirits. We'll share some of their great distilled options. And then we also have Upland, which is a classic for Indiana beer. So all of these great businesses will be on board, sharing their products complimentary in this cool space in the basement of Union Station. All you have to do is RSVP on the events tab on Yelp.com. And that's a great space to keep checking out local businesses in your neighborhood.
All right, thanks so much, Brittany. The dress that everyone keeps talking about is still making headlines. Next on Sunrise, how the Salvation Army hopes to use that dress to make a very important statement.
And certainly not nearly as cold as yesterday morning's low of 2 degrees. It is currently 29 in Liston, 29 in Noblesville, 28 degrees in Connorsville, and 29 in Columbus. A nice warm up on the way this weekend, and the warm up continues well into next week. I'll have the details.
Safety on school buses is the driving concern at Westfield Washington schools. They just revealed a first-of-its-kind pilot program to add seat belts to buses. Westfield-based EME makes the safety systems. The locally based safety company will retrofit 6 buses with restraints that would otherwise cost more than $7,000 per bus. The company also tests its restraints at the Westfield plant. New crash tests show what happens to unrestrained students in rollover accidents.
We'll be able to be so close that we'll be able to go and actually do some monitoring and seeing how the seats are used. We can observe the improvement in behavior.
And they say tests show the use of restraints on buses reduces bullying and other discipline problems because students remain in their seats. A second Hoosier has died after a 9-car pileup in Florida. 77-year-old Charles Eisenhower died of his injuries from the same crash that killed his wife, Patricia. Couple from Lebanon were visiting Charlotte County, Florida when a semi-truck hit the rear of their car, causing the chain reaction crash. And we now know what caused a small plane to crash into a South Bend neighborhood 2 years ago. A report from the NTSB blames pilot error. The person flying was a student pilot who mistakenly cut power to the engine and couldn't restart the plane. The pilot and an instructor died in that accident. The passenger rail line service Hoosier State ends April 1st. The service between Indianapolis and Chicago 4 days a week has long faced financial trouble and a lack of passengers. INDOT blames federal rules for making trains too expensive to operate. Warmer temperatures are on the way to central Indiana, and that means DPW will start trying to fix all of the damage the cold weather has done to Indianapolis's roads. The city is getting its pothole repairs in gear. Between 10 and 15 crews will be working every weekday to fill pothole service requests from the public. According to DPW, they've already patched more than 2,000 potholes citywide. And if you have a pothole that needs to be filled and you know of one, you can call the Mayor's Action Center 317-327-4622, or you can use the Indy Pothole Viewer. You can see right here. We've got a link to it on our website at WTHR.com. And look at that, just riddled. The map is full of potholes. And
So,
if you drive anywhere, you go over them.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be overwhelming
Yeah.
for them to try to tackle all those. Hopefully they're not too big at this point.
Yeah, boy, I reported on one this past week that was doing a lot of damage to cars, so just be careful out there.
Don't want any bent wheels. I know I had one earlier this year.
Did
so,
you?
Yeah.
All right, well, at least we're looking forward to warmer weather.
We are. I mean, we are talking about temperatures climbing into the 50s. So, yes, it's going to feel more spring-like, and we deserve it because the past 3 weekends in a row, we have had winter weather with precipitation in the form of freezing rain and snow, and now we are just seeing some clouds around. We're trying to bring in a little bit of precipitation, but it is just too dry. We have a quick clipper system that's going to move across the Great Lakes area. In the meantime, it's currently 28 degrees in Muncie, 27 in Greensburg, 26 in Crawfordsville, and 30 degrees in Greencastle. Wind chill values, though, very significant even at this hour. 17 is what it feels like in Muncie, feeling like 16 in Crawfordsville. 17 is what it feels like in Indianapolis right now. What's ahead? Well, we do have a weekend warm-up. Daylight saving times begins later on tomorrow morning. That's when we spring forward. We ask that you change your clock tonight before you go to bed. That's the best way to do it because it happens at 2 o'clock in the morning. So as we head into tomorrow morning, you'll lose an hour of extra sleep. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 8:08 a.m. and then sunset will be at 7:45 p.m. And we're also tracking above average temperatures for the middle of the week, and it looks like it's going to stick around through a good part of next Friday into the weekend as well. This warm air mass will begin to build in on Wednesday and Thursday. We're talking about temperatures climbing close to 60 degrees, so we definitely will feel much better, much more spring-like as we head into the middle of the week. In the meantime, still a lot of clouds around. It's currently 29 degrees. Winds are out of the southwest at 16 miles per hour, and that wind chill value of 17. Now today, the winds will be out of the southwest, so while that southwesterly ingredient will allow temperatures to climb into the upper 30s and low 40s, we'll still have a wind chill value in the low to mid 20s. So a high today around 40 degrees in Indianapolis, and the winds could gust around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures today climbing to 37 degrees in Peru, 39 in Lafayette, 41 in Nashville, and 40 degrees in Richmond. Tonight, patchy fog will be possible. A few clouds around. Temperatures fall to 24 degrees. And of course, we do spring forward overnight. Temperatures tomorrow climbing to 42 degrees. The winds will lighten up quite a bit tomorrow, actually, out of the west from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs top out around 43 in Lafayette, 43 in Greencastle, 44 in North Vernon. Now, our next weather system, it looks like it's going to trail across southern Indiana on Tuesday. And there's a chance that some of this may make its way into central Indiana. This is something we're going to continue to monitor for you. At this point, we're going to keep it dry all the way until Friday. Highs today top out around 40 degrees, 42 for tomorrow. Although it will be still below normal on Monday, we'll reach a high of 46 degrees. Finally, the 50s return by Tuesday and close to 60 degrees by Thursday. Jeremy?
All right, thanks so much, Kelly. Well, it was the dress that the world was talking about, but now the Salvation Army hopes that white and gold or blue and black dress can spark a whole new conversation. Take a look at this ad tweeted from the South African branch of the Salvation Army. A woman covered in bruises in the dress with the tagline, "Why is it so hard to see black and blue?" The campaign to end domestic abuse spread quickly, drawing worldwide praise. A mayor is caught on camera buying marijuana, and it's perfectly legal. The mayor wants everyone to know about this historic purchase. It's the first made at the Cannabis Corner, the first government-run recreational marijuana store in the country. Mayor Don Stevens of North Bonneville in Washington State says the city has been in an economic pit for years. He says saw this as a way to dig out of it. Money earned at the municipality-run pot shop will go into a government pot, so to speak, not the city's general fund, but the city can apply for grants to use those funds. Well, when it snows, anything that resembles a hill is an opportunity to go sledding. Just ask these people in Philadelphia. They decided to use the famous Rocky Steps at the Philadelphia Art Museum as a perfect hill to sled down. You could say the ride was as rough as a couple of rounds with Rocky, but these people seem to have a good time anyway. After all, they're in Philadelphia. They're tough, and they better take advantage of it while it lasts. Today, highs there could reach 40 degrees. While giving people a creative outlet and unlocking hidden talent, still ahead on Sunrise, how a local studio is bringing art into Hoosier lives and connecting with the community. And do you want to go for a swim this morning? Temperatures in the 20s, why some are taking the plunge on this chilly morning. Central Indiana's arts community is thriving and local artists are growing at the Harrison Center for the Arts. Here's Nicole Masincic with more on how the Harrison Center is fostering our city's creativity.
Inside the Harrison Center for the Arts, you'll find 36 artist studios, 4 galleries, and art that changes monthly.
I think a city that is thriving is a city where the arts are alive and growing and people are engaging.
The Harrison Center is committed to fostering that environment, allowing artists to cultivate their craft.
We provide our artists with subsidized studio spaces, so we raise money to help keep their rent down low so they can focus on creating art and not have to worry about paying the bills.
One of those artists is Kate Oberreich, a local painter and Ball State graduate whose work is being shown in one of the galleries.
It allows me to completely separate my day job, which I do have a full-time job as well as being a full-time artist. I can separate that and I can completely concentrate on a painting or a project.
Kate paints in series, and this group of work is titled Dreams About Flying.
And that came out of the idea of the paper airplane, sort of as a metaphor for communication and what dreams tell us. Everybody's had that dream about flying or falling, and so I'm grabbing on to that a little bit. It's a lot of paper airplanes, it's a lot of bird cages, it's a lot of anatomical hearts.
Chances are you've seen Kate's work before. She created commissioned pieces for the movie The Fault in Our Stars. Look closely, those are her creations hanging on the wall. Far from a Hollywood set in her own studio, each piece and symbol means something to Kate, but she likes to hear what you see in her work.
They tend to symbolize specific things to me, but as I talk to more people, they symbolize other things for them. We all bring our own stories to the paintings.
All right, that was Nicole Masinsic reporting. You can see Kate's work along with other local artists during the First Friday exhibition at the Harrison Center for the Arts. That's located at 15th in Delaware. Again, that is starting yesterday. We have more about connecting with the community at WTHR.com. Well, it might be a better day to do this with temperatures climbing into the 40s, maybe not. Talking about the Polar Plunge event. This is the last one in central Indiana for the season. Take a look at this video from an earlier plunge. Today's takes place at Eagle Creek Park. Once again, it will benefit Special Olympics. This is the largest fundraising event for the organization this season. It is already going on. Good luck to them out there. And they're resting at IUPUI this morning after dancing for 12 straight hours. The school's dance marathon, or Jagathon, kicked off at 6 p.m. last night inside the jungle at the natatorium. Wrapped up just a few minutes ago. Their charitable goal was to raise $100,000. We've learned they raised $100,944. So congratulations for exceeding that goal. All of that, of course, will go to Riley Children's Hospital at IU Health. Well, the clock is ticking to apply for college financial aid. Coming up in the next half hour of Sunrise, when that deadline is and what information you need to apply.
And a much warmer start this morning than yesterday's low of 2 degrees. It's currently 30 degrees in Greenwood, 29 in Fairland, 29 in Noblesville, and 30 degrees in Liston. A decent warm up on tap for today, but even better by the middle of next week. I'll have the details coming up on Sunrise.
New on Sunrise, families evacuated after a fire on the south side. What neighbors believe caused that blaze. Also, we're learning more about a deadly apartment fire in Crawfordsville this morning on Sunrise, where one person was killed and several families lost their homes.
And we actually have a pretty mild start across central Indiana right now. It is currently 34 degrees in Bedford. It is 28 in Greensburg, and it is 31 in Marion.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News at Sunrise continues.
Good morning and welcome to Sunrise on this Saturday, March 7th. I'm Jeremy Brilliant. It is 9:30. I'm in for Naomi along with Kelly Green, and we are enjoying slightly warmer, much warmer temperatures than yesterday and looking forward to even warmer spring-like temperatures.
Yes, finally we are breaking out of that bitter cold weather that we've been experiencing.
Yeah.
Yes, temperatures have been running well below normal for several days. Finally, we are going to start climbing out of this deep freeze. It's not going to be completely above average yet today, but we're getting closer. It is currently 29 degrees in Indianapolis, 30 degrees in Lafayette, 30 in Greencastle, and 34 in Seymour. We do have a clipper system that's moving across the Great Lakes area. It's trying to squeeze out a little bit of moisture, but it's running into a lot of dry air. We do have a few clouds around, and here's a look at our WeatherBug Network temperatures. It's 29 in Fairland, 30 degrees in Columbus, and 34 in Paragon. Now, from our Westville camera, yes, you can definitely tell the clouds are thickening up, and we will see the temperatures responding to a southwesterly breeze. It will be breezy at times. We could see a gust or two around 20 to 25 miles per hour. That will allow temperatures to climb into the upper 30s and low 40s. I do think the clouds will clear out quite a bit as we head into the later hours this afternoon. Wind chill values today will still be likely in the low to mid 20s. And as we head into tonight on into tomorrow, a little bit more mild air moves in. I'll have those details coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast. Jeremy?
All right, thanks, Kelly. And new on Sunrise, families were evacuated from their homes this morning after a fire broke out in the city's near south side. Fire broke out just after 4 this morning at a vacant home near the intersection of Alder and Talbot. The cause of that blaze still unknown, but neighbors say squatters were seen coming in and out of the home several times. Families were evacuated as flames reached 2 houses nearby, damaging the exteriors of those homes. And we're hoping to learn more today about a deadly apartment fire in Crawfordsville. The state fire marshal will continue the investigation at Sandy Knoll Apartments today. Sunrise reporter David McAnally says several families lost virtually everything they owned.
Fire crews were on the scene before 5 o'clock tonight and found the fire moving fast through the 8-unit apartment building and threatening an adjoining building.
My dog started barking, and I looked out the window, and the entire roof was just engaged in fire. It was way up there. I mean,
moving fast?
Yeah, it was. Well, you could tell it was moving that way, but the wind was pushing it that way because you could tell by the thick black smoke. But
a witness tells Eyewitness News it appeared the fire began somewhere at the back of the building at ground level and moved upward through the attic and burst through, collapsing the roof.
Yeah, it was something else. They said that everybody kind of moved back when it began to collapse. So sad, yeah.
It was as fire crews tried to knock down the blaze that they discovered a body in one of the units.
It's just sad anyway. It's just a sad situation.
David McAnally, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
And Kevin Cable says that he and his neighbors are planning to do something today to help all of those families affected. Indianapolis firefighters sent us this video of a business fire on Colorado Avenue on the east side. They say the KDC truck, trailer, and bus repair shop suffered $250,000 in damage. 2 firefighters also were slightly injured. One was hit by debris in the head. The other received a slight burn. The business employs about 55 people. It's unclear the status of that business, if they'll be able to operate or not. A police chase suspect is apologizing for hitting other cars before police stopped him at Fall Creek and Central.
Man, I pray to the people that I hit. I pray y'all all right, man. I ain't mean that. I'd rather go to jail.
That chase began just before 8 last night at 30th and Butler when officers say they tried to make a traffic stop. Police say the suspect may have been involved in an earlier disturbance involving a gun. An accused killer of a police officer is fighting to be set free. Marion County deputies took Major Davis II to court in a wheelchair yesterday. Davis wore a red jumpsuit indicating he is a high-risk inmate. He is charged in the shooting of Metro Police Officer Perry Wren, who died responding to a disturbance call. During that hearing yesterday, Davis argued since the court failed to honor his speedy trial request, legally he should be released. Davis's family says they are not happy with his defense.
It seems that the defense has information that can clear my son's name, but unwilling to represent to the courts. I am concerned that they are working more so with the prosecutor than working for my son.
The judge denied that motion, saying that he was being ill-advised on court rules. Davis could face the death penalty for Officer Wren's death. The trial is set for 2017. A Lafayette Schools employee is in jail facing child molestation charges. Police arrested 19-year-old Jose Maria Gonzalez yesterday on molestation and sexual battery charges. Investigators say his victim is a 13-year-old student but does not go to school in the Lafayette district. Prosecutors are requesting a life sentence without parole for the man accused of beating his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter to death. Freddie Bailey will go on trial in June on murder and neglect charges in the death of Amabel Calderon. Detectives say Bailey confessed to beating the child in the motel room where they were living. The toddler died from head injuries and had bruises over her entire body. The girl's mother, Maria Calderon, is charged with neglect resulting in death and admitted knowing Bailey had been abusing her daughter for months. A Gary funeral home where the remains of 2 babies were found inside small boxes above ceiling tiles could face state sanctions. The remains were found in the attic over the morgue area of the funeral home. One of the babies had a hospital bracelet indicating he was born in 1996. The other child has no identification. A complaint filed yesterday recommends a 90-day suspension against that funeral home. And the clock is ticking for students applying for financial aid for college. The free application for Federal Student Assistance Form, or FAFSA, is due in a matter of days. There are about $300 million available in financial aid here in Indiana, but less than half of high school seniors have completed the paperwork so far. The state is encouraging students to get busy this weekend. Colleges use the information to determine scholarships. And to give you some incentive, take a look at some of the estimated costs of colleges and universities here in the state. Indiana State University will cost nearly $21,000 a year. St. Joseph's College and the University of Indianapolis both costing $38,000. FAFSA is due on March 10th. That is Tuesday. For a link to the form, go to our website at WTHR.com. Just look under Hot Topics. And 4 Indiana colleges are among the top 60 when it comes to return on investment. Purdue University, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, Wabash College, and the University of Notre Dame all made the top 100. That's out of more than 1,200 colleges ranked by Payscale.com. Student loan debt and now tops $1 trillion. Wow. A lot of money out there.
Yes.
All right, well, we are looking forward to a nice warm-up here in central Indiana, starting really this afternoon.
That's right. Yesterday's low was 2 degrees. Today, much better start this morning with temperatures in the mid-20s for lows. We're already climbing into the 30s this morning. It is 35 in Paragon. It's 30 degrees in Nineveh and 28 in Muncie. A decent rebound today, but even better yet as we head into the middle of the work week. Spring-like temperatures on the way. I'll have the details.
Also ahead, saying goodbye to Reggie Wayne, how Hoosiers are honoring the winningest Colt of all time as he becomes a free agent. And welcome back to Sunrise on this Saturday. You can see a couple of people walking there close to the downtown canal, close to White River State Park. Not too terribly cold out there to get outside and enjoy a walk or a run, and that's what a lot of people are doing this morning. We are roughly 2 months out from the nation's largest half marathon. The One America 500 Festival race attracts nearly 35,000 entrants each year, and if you're planning to participate, there are several events planned to help you get in shape. Mark DeLella with Ortho Indy joins us live from NCAA headquarters, where today's training event is wrapping up. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for joining us. How was the event, first of all, this morning? This was a 6-mile run to get people in shape ahead of the mini.
Good morning, Jeremy. Yes, it's a little cold, but I think it went well. I talked to a lot of people today who didn't get too injured, even despite the cold.
And that's obviously, you work at Ortho Indy dealing with people's injuries, so it really is important for people to start planning now and to train before they try to do something like a half marathon.
Training is very important, and that's why we started so early, months before this run occurs today. And so yes, training is important, stretching is important, all in preparation for a longer run later in this year.
And that's something that I think, you know, a lot of people have been putting this off maybe this winter. It's been a kind of a brutal last couple of weeks with the cold temperatures, with the snow. So maybe some people are just going to be getting out this week, later this week. Can they still tackle 13.1 miles if they kind of go from the couch to that amount in just 7 weeks?
I hope they're not going from the couch out to running. Most of them are running on a treadmill indoors for a while, especially with the snow on the ground and all. It does make a change when you go outside and start running on a rougher surface. Treadmill is a nice, flat, predictable surface. Then you go outside and start running on a very uneven surface. Maybe a challenge to the human foot, leg, and you start to get some overuse injuries. Essentially too much, too fast, often.
All right, and talk about stretching a little bit. I know even walkers probably need to do some stretching. There are different opinions about stretching before exercise, after exercise. What do you believe is the best idea?
I tell most of my patients that stretching is really a niche in and of yourself, or for yourself. If you enjoy stretching before you run, then so be it. If you'd rather stretch afterwards, in general, stretching is important. You really should work it into your regime.
All right, thanks very much, Mark DeLilla with Ortho Indy. I know you make money from repairing people's injuries, but I hope you're not seeing too many people from today's run.
We spoke to a few people today, but it went well.
All right, thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks.
The Indiana Pacers are heading to New York City today, winners of their last 4 games, thanks in part to a big win at the Fieldhouse last night against the Chicago Bulls. Solomon Hill led the Pacers to a quick start and poured in a team-high 16 points, but it was the heroics of second-string center Jan Mahimi who stepped it up for the 4th quarter and collected a double-double that put the Pacers over the top. They win easily 98-84, take on the sputtering New York Knicks tonight at Madison Square Garden. And we're seeing more tributes to Reggie Wayne. The Colts wide receiver is being released from the team. An electronic billboard at the State Fairgrounds now has a message honoring number 87. His jersey number is also showing up in lights on Monument Circle at the IPL building. It's a bright reminder of Reggie's contributions to the team and to our community for so many years. And of course, Reggie was also one of our contributors on the 13 Sports Jam. He worked closely with our sports director, Dave Calabro.
Good evening, everybody. It's the tough part of the business in the NFL. The Colts making room for the next generation as they say goodbye to the great number 87. Reggie Wayne's career is over with the Indianapolis Colts. He's been dealing with several injuries that slowed him down last season. After 14 seasons, Reggie has set all kinds of records for the Indianapolis Colts. He set many, many records, but he was more about just winning games. Still no word if he's going to retire or try to play elsewhere. But just last month when we talked to him, he sounded like a guy who still wants to play the game.
There have been a lot of people that say we won't be better than the years before, but each year we find a way to get that next step. Well, now the next step is the Super Bowl, so it's going to be tough, you know. But it's a lot of stuff this year that everybody can learn from. Everybody can take away the good and the bad and get better from, add to.
So the 87 sign is coming down. Free agency starts next Tuesday. It'll be very interesting to see if Reggie Wayne decides to play again or not. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Dave Calabro, Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much, Dave. We've compiled some of your thoughts about Reggie Wayne at WTHR.com. There's also a slideshow of some of his greatest moments. Feel free to share your memories on our homepage. Well, do you remember what you were doing 3 years ago? If you're a Colts fan, it was probably a very emotional time for you.
I sure have loved playing football for the Indianapolis Colts. For 14 wonderful years, the only professional football I've known has been Colts football.
March 7, 2012, one of the most monumental days in Colts history. It was a tearful news conference with Colts owner Jim Irsay. Peyton Manning announced that he was leaving the team to become a free agent. Just this week, Manning announced he will return to the Broncos for a 4th season. That was a tough day for a lot of people, I think. Yeah, I know.
My heart breaks again.
Every time you hear him.
Yes, every time.
I know.
So hard.
And so another good guy. We got Reggie Wayne, another good guy. It's kind of bittersweet time.
Yes.
What do you do?
Yes, I know. I love him too.
Yep.
It's tough, but we'll always be a Colts fan. So
yep,
keep
definitely.
rooting.
And we are looking forward to some nice warm weather here, spring-like weather finally.
Yes, absolutely. We're finally going to be getting into a warming trend. The last 3 weekends in a row, we've had some kind of winter precipitation. So finally seeing a dry weekend. There's a clipper system that's trying to squeeze out some precipitation, but it's just running into a lot of dry air. We do have some clouds around, so that will be the case for part of the day today. And you can see here from our Westfield cam, yes, we do have some cloud coverage overhead. And our temperatures, though, are starting to climb thanks to that southerly breeze that we have in place. 29 degrees right now in Greensburg. It's 30 in Greencastle, 31 in Bloomington, already 36 degrees in Seymour. We do have that breeze out of the southwest, and that's keeping wind chill values around 17 in Indianapolis, 17 in Crawfordsville, feeling like 22 right now in Lafayette. Now, what's ahead? Well, we are talking about a weekend warm-up, and we're also looking at daylight saving time. It does begin tomorrow morning at 2 a.m., so you'll want to turn your clocks ahead tonight before you go to bed. We spring forward as daylight saving time begins, and that means the sunrise will be at 8:08 tomorrow morning and sunset will be at 7:44. We're also tracking above average temperatures. It will start to push in by the middle of the week, and looking here at future track, we have a warm air mass off to our west. That's going to start surging in as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where temperatures will climb close to 60 degrees. So we are definitely going to look forward to some spring-like temperatures. Cloudy skies across our HD sky cam. It is currently 29 degrees and winds out of the southwest at 16 miles per hour, and it feels like it is 17. Now, future track 13 showing that temperatures will be climbing into the upper 30s and low 40s. We'll start to see the clouds clearing out as well. So today's high in Indianapolis near 40 degrees. Could see a gust or two around 20-25 miles per hour. Still going to have a wind chill in the low to mid 20s, despite the fact we'll see highs around 40 in Indianapolis, 40 in Rushville, 39 degrees the high in Muncie, 39 as well in Lafayette, and 41 the high in Greencastle. Tonight temperatures fall to 24 degrees. Looks like patchy fog will be possible with these light breezes out of the west, and the winds will be much lighter tomorrow, so not as significant of a wind chill value. Highs top out around 42 degrees and a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43 degrees in Rushville, 44 in North Vernon, 43 in Lafayette, and 43 the high in Greencastle. Now, it looks like the main chunk of the week is going to be dry. We are tracking a chance of a system that could move across south central Indiana on Tuesday, but at this point we're going to keep things dry. In the meantime, today we'll climb to 40 degrees this afternoon. Temperatures fall to 24 tomorrow morning, high of 42 Sunday afternoon. Still below average on Monday, but it will feel balmy with a high of 46 degrees. Then we finally crack that 50-degree mark on Tuesday, high of 51 degrees. The mid-50s return for Wednesday, close to 60 by Thursday, and we are tracking a chance of rain on Friday. Jeremy?
Thanks so much, Kelly. A pulled muscle or sore joint often requires time to heal. And that means pain or discomfort interrupts your daily routine. But as Eyewitness News reporter Carrie Klein shows us, there's a new form of recovery that just arrived in Indianapolis, which can fast forward the process.
During this time of the year, most of us are ready to escape the cold to feel better. But there is a new therapy in town that takes cold to a whole new level that's healing and actually relaxing.
Hi. Introducing cryotherapy. Dr. Charbel Harb is the first to offer it in Indiana, and you'll only find it here at Cryotherapy Indy on the city's northeast side.
It doesn't actually feel as cold as an ice bath by any means. It's actually way more comfortable. You're surrounded within 20 seconds to 30 seconds with a coldness equivalent to -200 Fahrenheit to -240 Fahrenheit.
Elise Kyle is an extreme athlete. She's a competitive CrossFitter and trains about 3 to 4 hours a day. Her body takes a beating, and she says cryotherapy speeds her recovery.
I've had a little bit of a tennis elbow injury, and that has subsided since, as well as I can really feel more energy in my body the next couple of days.
Elise gets cryotherapy about 3 times a week. She changes into a swimsuit. Men wear only cotton or wool briefs. Warm gloves, socks, and slippers are provided to protect the fingers and toes. But this is not just for elite athletes.
It's for anyone who is in search for faster recovery, increased performance, or just for the general public who are looking for general health and wellness, feeling invigorated. So take your robe off for me and hand it up.
Then the chamber is fired up or cooled down.
Here we go. So now we're going for a 2-minute treatment with Elise. She's going to start having a temperature drop in the chamber around her. Liquid nitrogen is coming into the chamber.
How are you feeling, Elise? It's a little chilly right now. It's mostly around my legs, pretty chilly.
And just like that, the session is over.
Voila, actually, this is all it is.
Are you, like, if I touch her?
Yeah, touch her, and she will get warm.
You don't even feel cold. I do sleep better, sleep a little bit more soundly, and it helps lower my resting heart rate, and so that helps me recover faster.
Relaxed and refreshed, Elise heads out until her next session. On the city's northeast side, Carrie Klein, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
And a single session at cryotherapy costs less than $70. There are package deals and discounts available for a wide range of people, including coaches and first responders. 50 years ago, a group of protesters marched through Selma, Alabama, and stepped into the history books. Next on Sunrise, how their fight is being remembered today here in Indianapolis.
Maybe some tear gas ahead. Yeah. I say to you this afternoon that I would rather die on the highways of Alabama than make a butchery of my conscience. Yes, sir. Maybe some tear gas ahead. Yeah. I say to you this afternoon that I would rather die on the highways of Alabama than make a butchery of my conscience. Yes, sir.
Today, America marks a difficult yet ultimately triumphant chapter in our nation's history. This morning marks 50 years to the day that Bloody Sunday unfolded along a bridge in Selma, Alabama. A peaceful march met with violence, a flashpoint in the fight for civil rights that pushed lawmakers to approve the Voting Rights Act. Today, Indianapolis plans to hold a march to commemorate what happened in Selma. Sunrise reporter Matt McCutcheon is live from the State House with more. Matt?
Morning. Several events will be taking place all across the country. That includes right here in Indianapolis to remember the 50-year anniversary of everything that happened down in Selma, Alabama. Of course, this has also been brought to light in the past couple of months thanks to the movie Selma that recently came out to a huge blockbuster success. The events that transpired 50 years ago to ensure things like voter freedom echoes still today here in communities all across the country. And here in Indianapolis, a special event taking place to remember that milestone will take place here at the church that starts at 4646 Michigan Road. That will begin a 5-mile walk here to the State House, where everyone will gather for a brief moment of silence to reflect on everything that happened 50 years ago. And there's also a special event that will take place today as well.
We don't want to merely be symbolic. We also want to be substantive. And so we want to take away a few action items, one of which is voter registration. So we have a voter registration drive. We also want voter participation. Indiana saw one of the lowest voter turnouts this last election in our recent history.
Again, this all starts at the Light of the World Christian Church at 4646 Michigan Road at noon. Everyone will gather there for a brief program, including voter registration, and then begin the 5-mile walk here to the State House for, again, a moment of reflection on everything that happened 50 years ago. And then there will be buses to provide rides back here from the State House to the church. And as far as Selma goes, a lot of Hoosiers are down there as well, including Representative Andre Carson, and we'll have much more on that tonight on Eyewitness News. For now, reporting live, Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks so much, Matt. And you mentioned some of those Hoosiers who are down in Alabama. Some of them headed out early this morning. This is from Eyewitness News reporter Steve Jefferson tweeted this picture. He and other Hoosiers on a bus headed down to mark the 50th anniversary in Selma. Well, you might want to take a little nap this afternoon because we are losing an hour overnight. Daylight saving time will begin at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Do not forget to set your clocks forward 1 hour. And because of the time change, the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission is allowing alcohol sales to go until 4 a.m. Sunday mornings so that alcohol sales will last as long as they normally do on Sunday mornings. And as you change your clocks, you're also urged to change the batteries in your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. It is something you should do once a year, and if you do it at the beginning of daylight saving, it'll be easier to remember when they need to be replaced in the future. Smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors should also be tested monthly, so make sure they're working properly. If you have recently changed the batteries, still give those detectors a test to make sure they're working so that that does not happen to you. And we are looking at some beautiful weather this afternoon. More beautiful Sunday, more beautiful Monday.
Yes,
it's going to get better and better. I know.
Yes, and we're now into March, and it's definitely going to feel much more like March. And with March, we do have a lot of temperature swings, so we are going to see some temperature swings in our 7-day forecast. Right now, though, still way warmer than where we were yesterday at this time. It got down to 2 degrees yesterday. It is currently 32 in Nineveh. It's 32 in Columbus. 28 right now in Muncie. And here's a live look from our Sharpsville camera.